Smart people dominate classrooms, win degrees, outperform their peers, and are often praised as the ones destined for success. They are the analytical thinkers, the high achievers, the problem solvers everybody turns to. Yet, ironically, many of these same smart people remain financially stuck, stressed, or even broke. It's not because they lack intelligence. It's not because they lack ambition. And it's certainly not because they don't work hard. The real reason is far less obvious. Their mind is wired in a way that quietly works against wealth creation. What looks like an intelligence advantage in school or in career settings becomes a psychological trap in the real world of wealth building. Today, we explore the invisible mental patterns that keep smart people stuck, and the very different architecture of thinking that wealthy minds use instead. Highly intelligent individuals are conditioned from a young age to avoid mistakes. In school, being wrong costs you points. Being uncertain lowers your grade. The entire system is built on rewarding accuracy, predictability, and caution. Over years of repetition, this conditions the mind to prefer certainty and to fear the unknown. But wealth doesn't grow in certainty. Wealth grows in environments filled with incomplete information, shifting conditions, and unpredictable outcomes. Wealth doesn't reward the person who waits until they have all the facts. It rewards the person who can act with partial facts and pivot quickly based on feedback. The smart mind waits. The wealthy mind moves. The irony is striking. The very caution that makes intelligent people smart in structured systems becomes the same caution that guarantees stagnation in the financial world. Another subtle psychological trap is the effort equals worth bias. Intelligent people are often praised for their hard work, consistency, and visible effort. Their identity forms around being the person who can solve the difficult problem, who can grind longer, who can push harder. Over time, their self-worth becomes tied to this pattern. If I work hard, that means I deserve success. But money doesn't reward effort. It rewards leverage. It rewards timing. It rewards positioning. Wealthy individuals don't chase tasks. They build structures. They don't ask, how can I work harder? They ask, how do I make this work without me? The intelligent mind optimizes for productivity. The wealthy mind optimizes for expansion. The difference seems subtle, but the consequences are enormous. If your worth is tied to effort, then letting go, automating, delegating, systemizing, feels like losing identity. So instead of building wealth, the intelligent person builds exhaustion. Their brain confuses productivity with progress, creating burnout without financial acceleration. Then comes overthinking, the silent killer of momentum. The smarter the mind, the more simulations it runs. Every choice becomes a chessboard of possibilities. What if it fails? What if there's a better option? What if I don't know enough yet? What begins as thoughtful analysis becomes paralysis disguised as responsibility. Meanwhile, wealth rewards movement. It rewards those who can make decisions, gather feedback, and adjust course. Wealthy psychology flows like this: action, feedback, adjustment, growth. Smart psychology loops endlessly: thinking, doubt, delay, stagnation. Delay is the hidden thief of decades. Decisions that could compound over 5, 10, or 20 years never get made because the intelligent mind is still calculating. And while they think, someone else acts and wins. Social conditioning is another invisible trap. Smart people often learned early on that approval comes from compliance, accuracy, and pleasing authority. Good grades get praise. Being correct earns recognition. Doing things the right way earns safety. But wealth requires a different psychological profile. It requires someone willing to break norms, someone willing to be misunderstood, someone willing to take a position others don't yet agree with, someone willing to take reputational risk. That willingness rarely comes naturally to those who were rewarded for fitting the mold. Intelligent minds seek approval. Wealthy minds tolerate friction. This one difference creates a gulf between earners and owners, between those who seek validation and those who build independence. And now comes the most uncomfortable twist. Raw intelligence is not a wealth advantage. Emotional regulation is. The ability to stay calm during uncertainty is far more powerful financially than the ability to think quickly. The capacity to detach ego from outcomes may matter more than analytical ability. A wealthy mind doesn't collapse the moment something unpredictable happens. It doesn't spiral when a risk underperforms. It doesn't freeze when data is incomplete. Instead, it remains emotionally centered, grounded, and flexible. Intelligence helps you understand the world. Emotional regulation helps you move through it. Wealth is built by those who can tolerate discomfort longer than others, not by those who think the fastest. Wealthy minds also simply ask different questions. Smart people ask, what is the safest option? Wealthy minds ask, what increases my optionality? Smart people ask, how can I avoid mistakes? Wealthy minds ask, what will compound over years? Smart people ask, how do I work harder? Wealthy people ask, what system can do the work for me? These questions change the trajectory of life. They shift behavior, identity, and decision-making. When these questions become automatic, wealth-building actions follow effortlessly. You begin to think in terms of leverage instead of labor, of long-term value instead of short-term comfort, of emotional resilience instead of perfection. To understand this shift more deeply, consider how wealth actually grows. Wealth is rarely the result of one brilliant moment. It's the product of repeated, compounding actions taken long before the results appear. Smart people struggle with this because they crave immediate validation. They are used to performing a task and receiving a reward. But wealth works on delayed gratification. You plant seeds today and see results months or years later. This requires emotional patience, not intellectual brilliance. It requires the ability to stay committed without applause. That is something school never teaches, but financial freedom demands. There's also a psychological identity component. Many smart people unconsciously identify as the worker, the achiever, or the problem solver. Wealth, however, demands a shift into the identity of a creator, a builder, a strategist. Instead of solving problems for others, you build structures that solve problems at scale. Instead of filling your time, you buy back your time. Instead of proving your intelligence, you expand your influence. This identity shift is uncomfortable for those attached to being the smart one, because wealth requires letting go of the performance-based ego. If intelligence alone built wealth, universities would be overflowing with millionaires. But they aren't. Wealth comes from psychology, not just knowledge, not effort, not credentials. It comes from identity, regulation, pattern recognition, and emotional endurance. When you change the internal rules that govern your thinking, money naturally follows. You stop sabotaging momentum. You stop overvaluing certainty. You stop tying your worth to effort. And you start aligning with how wealth actually works, through leverage, through clarity, through elegant simplicity, through emotional stability, and through long-term commitment. Change your psychology, and you change your financial trajectory.